think. There we go.
But I was happy muted.
Okay, well, you're not muted anymore.
Oh.
Hello, and welcome to a special and exciting episode of Cooking with Unity. Looking at Unity. Here's looking at you, Unity. So
now we're just going to sit back intently and watch the computer.
Yes. I'm not even going to switch the screen. You can just watch our reaction to the computer.
You have to watch us watch the computer.
That would be boring.
Yeah,
so Phil's actually here, so that's awesome. And so's Jeffrey, and that's awesome. And yeah, we're doing a show. And we're doing a special one. So why is special? Well, we're going to be looking at a real-world, quote-unquote, project where for a Kickstarter that I'm working on for next week. There's more than what I'm going to be showing on the show, but we're doing a little mini-game for it. And it's a 2D shooter, so I figured that might be appropriate on the shooter section anyway. So I'm going to switch over to the screen. And I'm going to show you the little bit that we've got so far. It's very small. It's not a whole lot. So what we have right now is we have pixel perfect movement. We have a targeting reticle. We have our little character moving around. And we have a targeting and lasering system. But currently it doesn't destroy anything, it just shoots stuff out. So I first want to do just kind of a tour of what we've got going on so far. And then first order of business will probably be to make those things explode in some way, and so when they get hit by the lasers. And then after that we'll probably start mocking out the level for this thing. So what we've got here so far is first off,
is there sound in this game right now?
There is some lock-on sounds right now. We won't hear them, but they heard them.
But they might hear them really loud. Yeah. Is the only concern I have.
Well, they're gonna have to deal.
Okay.
So I guess we can temporarily disable the lock-on sound just in case. We should keep it. All right. If you guys have complaints about the sound, tell us and we'll fix it.
Yeah, we'll deal with that if you have issues.
So first, I want to show you how we're doing pixel perfection in this, because it's a question I get a lot. Right now, our background is not actually sized up high enough for what we're doing here, so you're gonna have to pretend. But basically, the method I'm using is all these components are in front of a camera like normal, except for they're not rendering to the screen. This camera is actually rendering to a texture. This texture is, unfortunately, this is a Unity Pro feature, so you can't use this technique for Unity Basic. You can still get things onto a pixel grid in Unity Basic, but you can't actually render things at a resolution for... You gonna keep doing that?
Yeah, as long as I can.
All right, but basically, what we're doing is we're rendering this to a texture, and that way we can use the texture as a secondary buffer and resize it as needed. So we've got this, so this is our scene, this is what we're actually seeing. But the camera that's actually rendering to the screen at the end is this virtual camera, which is way up at 1000 up in Y, because we're never going to see 1000 up in Y ever.
It looks to be an orthograph.
And both of them are orthographic cameras right now. They don't necessarily have to be. Well, this one should be an orthographic camera, but the bottom one could be either. But we want everything to be on a perfect pixel grid, and we've got actual sprite art that we want to maintain the look of. So what this virtual screen is, the texture is 512 by 256. So the game's designed to be run about 256 high. The 512 is actually wider than we would do. That's a 2-to-1 ratio. We're supporting up to a 16:9 ratio, but as it has to be a power of 2 to work properly, I've set it to 512 because we can always cut the edges off.
Yeah,
and that's what we do. So so if something changes down on the other cameras, like if I move, say, our target reticle up, and we go to the virtual camera, you'll see that it has moved up on the virtual camera here. It's just this quad with the texture on it. That's all it is. And then the camera's just like looking at it. It's like, I want to see this quad. And the way that we get it actually pixel perfect is I've got a script for the virtual screen called Pixel Perfect Scale. And pixels per unit is actually a misnomer. That it's actually the vertical resolution that you want there. And what this does is it resizes this, and it can cut off the sides and top a little bit. It basically tries to get it to a perfect pixel pitch, and that way we don't have any of the you'll get this like scintillation effect. Actually, I'm going to turn this off so you can see. I'm not sure how well it will show up on the video, but we're going to give it a shot here. I may have to change the character movement speed here too a little bit. Let me do that real quick. Where's our character? Q, there she is. What are we doing? So,
character speed.
Yes, I'm going to change her from 3.2 to like 1. And if you look closely, you'll see that there's kind of this like crawl on the pixels.
I'm not sure if it'll appear on the screen.
I'm really not sure if it's going to pixel. I'm not sure if it's going to appear on the screen either. Now, the thing is, we have full access to the 256 pixels in this. I've got it framed such that we can see every single pixel. But we have this scintillation problem. So what this does is it resizes it bigger. So it takes up, so you cut off some of the portions of the screen, but it makes sure that it is on a exact pixel multiple, and that way it gets rid of the scintillation. So I'm going to turn this back on, and we're going to play it again. And hopefully, if you couldn't see it before, you're not going to notice that it's gone now, but it's gone now.
It looks a lot different to me.
Yeah, it's really, really noticeable.
Yeah, it's very noticeable.
And unfortunately, that problem actually exists in shipped 2D games.
Oh, I know it does.
It exists in Mega Man 9 of all things. It really irked me in Mega Man 9 that they didn't get the pixel grid proper. As far as games that don't have the problem, the gold standard, in my opinion, of video games for 2D conversions on modern hardware is Sonic CD for like anything.
Yeah, that one was
they did
amazing.
an amazing job. They made it widescreen. You can see further in the level on the widescreen.
They included both soundtracks.
Yeah,
they did.
It's just right on every mark. So those guys did a tremendous job.
They also up-resed all the videos for that game too.
Yes,
I think it's those. Yeah, that's
they did amazing. So, so the reason I'm rendering into this texture instead of just showing what the camera's seeing is it allows us to have actual on-pixel precision. So this is another aspect of what we're doing here, and this is different than the scintillation problem. I'm going to go ahead and show this too. So we're going to change our main camera to actually just render the screen. We're going to turn off the render settings, and I'm going to turn off the virtual camera so that it doesn't fight with. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to turn off the virtual camera. I thought we were on the scene, but we weren't because it was over there. So you can see, actually, the scintillation problem's back too, but what happens is, and this will be really hard to notice, maybe I can zoom in on it. So you can actually get subpixel crawl. So like I can move a single Mac pixel, which there's much less pixels in the resolution of my game, and it will still move along with what I'm doing. And so when we actually do it the other way, I need to change the height of some of those things, the draw order, yeah. So when we use the virtual camera, it solves the crawling and it solves the not locked to a grid problem.
Well, I also noticed that the because it's a virtual camera as well, the spheres look.
Oh yeah, the spheres look like real spheres. Yeah.
Well, they look like real spheres because they are actually 3D models.
Yeah, let me show that too again. Actually, that's a better thing to show.
But since they're actually rendered at a 512 by 256 ratio,
they fit.
It's actually pretty neat. So you could theoretically use like 3D effects.
And that's easily. Actually what I'm doing for like the lasers. You'll see that they're these really smooth lasers. And these little things are really smooth too. And so by rendering it to this lower resolution buffer, when we switch that back on one more time.
Yeah, for those just joining, this is actually something that Max is working on.
So
currently,
you've got the nice, sharp, pixely edges that fit with the resolution of our 2D content.
That is really awesome.
All right, so other things that are going on here. So we've got the character The character, I'm not doing anything fancy on the character. I'm actually driving her via script. So we've just got a move script. You'll remember this one from many episodes of Cooking with Unity. Actually, we don't even need this start. I'm just gonna get rid of it. But yeah, we've done this one before. This is the type of thing that I use as well. It's not that exciting, but yeah, you just move the position by the horizontal axis and vertical axis, and speed and time.delta time. And we've got a little bit fancier is the sprite animation. Not much fancier. All this does is, if we're moving up, it changes the sprite to the up sprite. If we're moving down, it changes it to the down sprite. And if we're not moving either directions, it puts it back to the default. So that's how we get that little effect. Let me speed my character up again.
Yeah, put it back to 3.2.
Yes, 3.2. Yeah, much better. So, actually, I noticed that problem there. So, right now, if I put the reticle on the player, it obscures some of the reticle elements. And so I want to actually fix that real quick. These guys, wait, that shouldn't have gone behind the player. Oh, I see. This is no longer in front of the player because I moved the player for some reason. Why did I do that?
I do not know.
Alright, it doesn't matter. We'll just use the sorting order for this. So we will put these guys order in layer 1. We'll see if 1... I don't know if higher is better. It is, so we solved our problem. But yeah, those little squares are actually separate objects. That's the reason that they were able to be included separately, and they're actually the lock-on count. So as you lock on, those fill out.
That's cool.
And so you can lock on to up to 6 objects at a time. The other script on here, this is the more complex one. This is the Target Manager 2D. It's called Target Manager 2D because the full project has a Target Manager as well, and it's actually very much based on the 3D Target Manager. I had to change very little code to actually get this running in this 2D mode because it doesn't need to be particularly different. It's just that we're working with a plane as opposed to a 3-space, but all the code that works in 3-space, you can just flatten it and it works fine in 2D. So, but what this does is, I'm only just going to go over this briefly.
Question of, will this be a mobile game?
That's a trick question. No, I'm going to say no. There's probably going to be a mobile version of this game at some point, but you'll have to learn more about the full project later. This is actually going to be a VR project. The full project is. Yep. So this is just a little mini game thing for if you don't have a VR capable device. We thought it would be fun to actually switch to 2D mode completely and still have the same kind of gameplay experience, but in 2D. Mm-hmm. So this is a little fun project, is what this is. So, what are we doing? Update. So we've got... so all this does is, if I do a target, it adds the target to the targeted objects. It checks to see if the object's already targeted first, which it just does that by checking for a component called targeted. This is the shortest component I've ever written. All it's there for is to be a flag. It's just there. It's like if it's on an object, it's targeted. So, and specifically, it's on the prefab for the targeted reticle. So as soon as that goes in there, you just check in the children for the targeted object, and if it's that's in there, it's already been targeted. And after a timer, it automatically shoots everything. So like if I target just like one thing, and then wait like a 2 count, it fires. But if you target up to 6 things and you run out of targets, it immediately fires. And the count actually resets, so like I target multiple things, you get a little bit of time in between, and then it fires everything. The magic here is basically we add to the targeted objects list, we instantiate the reticle on the object, we set the reticle to a parent of the object, we play the targeting sound, we add score to the score manager, and we reset the targeting time. That's what I was showing you, where if you target multiple things, you have like 2 seconds to target between them. untarget, I don't know what that's used for. I think that's if we destroy an object. I'm not sure if it's even necessary for us to do that. I kind of made this robust, but I at one point had an untarget there. So maybe there's a reason for it. So in the update, this is where it shoots the laser. So if it's time to shoot a laser, it instantiates the laser. It sets the laser's target to object.transform, so that's where the object is. And actually, it's the transform of the object, so it will continue to follow the object if it's moving around. We can actually show that if we, like, say, lock on to these guys. I'm just going to not pause. I'm going to anti-full screen. And we'll take one of these spheres that hasn't blown themselves up yet, and we'll just move it to the left, and you'll see that the laser will follow it forever. So the actual laser code is probably the more interesting stuff. I'm going to post a lot of these scripts actually after the show. I can't post the project because there's stuff on here that I can't share legally. So, but I can share the scripting. So, so a lot of this will be available to you guys. This is actually a really good little piece of code. This one I found online. But what it is it's a rigid body goal solver. So it basically tries to get to a target, but it does it using add force, and so it actually behaves like a physics object. This script in particular could be used to create something akin to, like in 3D, you could use this to create manhacks, because it'll accelerate towards the character and attempt to orient itself to hit them. Well, actually, it doesn't do the orientation. There's a separate rotation version that I have in here too, but we don't need it for the 2D project. But yeah. I don't really know exactly what each of these values do, but you can tweak them to kind of change the way that it accelerates towards the object and how far it can go off and stuff. What else? Target on trigger hitter. This is what does the targeting magic. This is on our reticle. And our reticle it has a trigger, and if it touches something, it tells the target manager, hey, target this thing. It currently only collides with, it's on the laser layer, and that layer only collides with player shoot at point, which is what the enemies are tagged as, or anything that you want to be able to shoot at, or aim at point, sorry, not shoot at point. So, I think that's about what we've got so far. I've got this little document here to work with. This is the storyboard for the level, and this is akin to the storyboard for the 3D version as well. It's just that the 3D version is on a forward-facing rail. So we've got some asteroids here, and let me actually zoom in. What's the actual size look like? Nice. All right. So we have some asteroids that come in. You have to dodge asteroids, so there's no enemy stuff. We've got a moving asteroid here. We have then we start getting these parasite enemies, and they start shooting at you and doing cool little loop-de-loops and stuff. So we got some fun that we can work with there. And then we got some asteroids and parasites. Some parasitic asteroids. So they're like on the asteroids, and you like destroy them. And then we have just like Parasite Nightmare, some space debris, so we got more dodging and stuff. We're going to have a Mode 7 style rotating thingy here. I think it's going to be fun. And some more asteroids, a piece of space debris that you can crash into, and then we have a gap in the ending. Yeah. Fancy little another Mode 7 style rotator here. Mode 7, by the way, I guess people might be young.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Mode 7 was the Super Nintendo's rotoscaler code. You could basically invoke Mode 7, and it would make it so that you could take a layer and rotate it or scale it at will. It was not bilinear filtered because Super Nintendo was 1 megahertz machine, and it's kind of hard to bilinear filter when you got not a lot of power behind it. But it was used in like Super Mario World and stuff when Bowser would like fly at the screen at the end and things like that. And it was used by Mario Kart for driving around.
Right, Mario Kart's a really good example.
Yeah. F-Zero.
F-Zero is a really good example.
That being said, people say that it's just Mode 7 for those. There's actually 2 technologies that go into those ones. The it only does scaling and rotating. It does not do perspective scaling. The way that those games actually did the perspective scaling is they did an additional DMA change at the end where they would manually scale the scan lines per scan line.
That's pretty cool.
So,
Super Nintendo RPGs typically use Mode 7.
Yeah, for moving around the maps and stuff.
Chrono Trigger used Mode 7 during the parts where you're flying, and Final Fantasy 6 4.
Yeah.
4 used Mode 7 during the intro.
So one of the things that's kind of weird about how I have this set up is I have the player is in front of everything, and the targeting system. I actually don't think I want the player that far in front of everything, but the targeting system is also in front, so that they render in front. But their colliders are actually behind them, so that the main gameplay field is on the Z0. So the enemies will probably be coming in on Z0, but they're actually being targeted by something that's further out. We may make adjustments to this as things go. I don't have... Oh, gosh. Look at all these stupid menus from all these things. Like, does that... It needed a whole menu just to have this? Thanks, hard surface shaders. We appreciate it. I can't even see what time it is.
I can. It's right
all
there.
right, you keep track of the time. I'm not going to worry about it. Unity says specifically, don't make menus, even though we allow you to. Put them in here, and a lot of them do. Look at all these nice people that put their stuff in here, as opposed to up here. All right.
But they think they're really important. That's why they're putting them up there.
Yeah.
What's in custom?
Something custom, I'm sure.
What's in custom? Oh, I don't know.
Sound. And replace game objects.
Yeah, I don't even know what that does.
I don't want to know what replace game objects is.
Yeah. Wait, did someone just ask if I could make a Memorpager in CryEngine?
Yes, I wasn't going to even acknowledge that.
But they're another tutorial group. They're actually good people too.
Memorpager in CryEngine?
Yeah, a Memorpager in CryEngine. Yeah, why not? I'm going to say,
I can't,
yeah, why not?
Because I don't want to.
Can you make a Memorpager in CryEngine? Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Should you make a
Are they asking
CryEngine?
if you can, or if people in general
I think
can?
they meant can one make a Memorpager.
Oh, well,
but
then
when they
one
actually
could.
asked, can you? I'm going to say that I could. I'm not going to, but I could. It wouldn't be my first choice for it, though, just because it doesn't really... It allows for expansive areas, but you'd have to have zoning still. Like, you pretty much couldn't use that engine to create a streaming world, I don't think.
Very, very difficult.
I'm not saying that they don't support streaming, because I'm not actually sure if that's true, but certainly none of the projects ever have shown it.
The reality is that you can pretty much bend whatever engine to whatever will you want, as long as you have the desire to do so. Yeah, well, to a certain extent. But yeah, a lot of MMORPGs, they have zoning anyway, so you could just do it. Those
you just build an area. It's not a complex type of project except for the networking slash what is it called, communication routine stuff. But yeah, so I think you could. You're gonna have your work cut out for you making a MMORPG in anything, though. It's
MMORPGs are pretty much the most time-consuming game you could probably make.
And the other thing is, once you release some MMORPG, that's the rest of your life. Like, you can't make another game after that because you have to support that one.
Keep working on that game. Yeah.
So warning to people out there that want to make MMORPGs: you got to really like the one that you make. Mm-hmm. So, like, make Eve. Don't make, like...
Oh, yeah, Eve. Yeah. I can't play that game.
I can't anymore either, but...
It's not even that I don't want to play that game, because there's parts of me that want to keep playing Eve. I just can't. I physically can't. It's like playing Windows.
So, what we're going to do is we're going to blow up these enemies, finally.
You don't play Windows?
No.
Alright.
No, or Excel is actually maybe more apt.
So, what are we doing?
For what Eve is like.
We're going to...
It's a fascinating world, though.
Call this Gib on Collide. Why not? That's what we always use.
An oldie but a goodie.
Oh, we already have a Gib on Collide. Oh, maybe I can use the existing one.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's try it. So, spheres... I probably put some like special code in there that like is gonna mess up everything.
There's spaces on that Gibbon Collide though.
Well, looks like this is working.
Yeah.
The spaces always show up if you do the add component search. It actually spaces it out based on the camel case. Or based on the casing. It's not that. It's like this. It does it for the naming of these things too. So
I just want to see them all squished together.
So what this does is you have gibs, you have tags. I actually really don't even want to use the tags, but okay, and it supports not using the tags. If you don't use the tags, it will just gib it on collision with anything. So that's perfect. But basically, you have some tags, so whatever's here, it'll choose a gib it, and a list of game object gibs, and that's what it spawns. So we've got gib on collide. So these guys are player aim at point. The lasers, I don't know if I've given them a layer yet. I have not, so I'm going to put them on the laser layer, and it should collide with things. I'm not sure if did we put a collider on these? We did. Okay, so I'm going to look at our Seeking Laser prefab here. So our Seeking Laser prefab has a collider. Again, it's offset from where the actual object is. And you can't see the object very well because it's just a trail renderer. It's just magic. There's no other way to see the object other than in the editor. That looks kind of cool. We made like a little pattern there. We could play tic-tac-toe actually. Just go like this, and yeah, now we got a field to play tic-tac-toe.
I go in the center.
All right.
I'm not going to play tic-tac-toe.
All right, neither am I. But
I win.
You do, by default. All right. So this thing already has a collider on it, so this may just already work. We didn't supply any gibs, but in theory, they should all disappear when they get hit now. So we're going to... Oh. Okay, well that was...
Oh, that's awesome looking.
So that went wrong. That went real wrong.
That was awesome looking, though.
So there is a reason for... Okay, so missing reference deception. So this was because the objects had gone away before the system knew about it. Wait. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little safety net here. If if obj does not equal null, then we'll do this stuff. So that should make it so that lasers don't come out of the butt like that.
But I wanted to see that again.
So the problem is, right now, I'm using the collision to determine when to target things. I guess I must have missed a sphere somewhere when adding the Gibbon Collide. Yes, I did. Oh yeah, it's not alphabetical anymore. Actually, while I'm thinking about that, there's a really important script. Alphabetical Unity. There's a nice little... Here it is. Oh wait, that's not what I want. Does someone have it here? There it is. So this is a little script that we're going to add because it's super important if you're using Unity 4.5. It won't work in earlier versions of Unity because Unity 4.5 made it so that this no longer sorts alphabetically, but they added a scriptable capability to allow you to change the sorting method. But they didn't include a default one that was useful. So we're going to have to make our own. So I'm going to create a new C# script. We're going to call this, what do we have to call it? Alphanumeric sort is what I'm going to call it. Alphanumeric sort. I think this one has to be in an editor script, but I'm going to just paste this in first. So that's not what select all does. Select all. I still can't believe they haven't fixed that. Paste in alphanumeric sort, and we're going to save this. We're going to throw this in an editor folder. I'm going to hit play, And I'm gonna unplay, because that should get Unity to actually compile everything for us. Come on, Unity. There you go. And that has just added this menu. So you've got this little menu here. Transform sort is what the default is. You can now click alphanumeric sort, and it's back to the way things were before 4.5. That may be of use to people. Certainly of use to me. Because, although it didn't work. Huh.
Interesting. Hey, look, I can see the time.
Wait, this isn't... Wait, why does this have the position involved?
That's a good question.
Did they modify this? Oh, yeah, they did. Okay. That's not the one I wanted. That was someone messing with it and then not renaming it from alphanumeric sort. Save. Play. Unplay. There, yay, now it's sorted properly. Yay. So the problem here is these guys will collide in the targeting process. So we have to make this a valid tag scenario. This will actually be a good case for it. So I'm going to just add one to the valid tags here, and we're going to tag it as laser. And so I'm going to go into the 2D minigame, prefabs, seek laser. And we're going to tag this as... Do I already have a laser? Don't think I already have a laser. So I'm gonna
someone
add one.
said Neon Genesis Evangelion Explosions.
Yes.
That makes me happy.
From the tic-tac-toe board? Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, well, element 12, we're not using that for anything. I guess I'm going to make that laser. So...
I do love Evangelion Explosions.
So now we're going to go to our seek laser, tag it as a laser.
Are you familiar with Photon for Unity?
A little bit. Alright, so I think I messed something up because I think I didn't actually set that properly on all of them. So first of all, I've got that one sphere that... Yeah, I only set it on one of them. I've got that one sphere that doesn't have it at all, so let's add it here. Gib on collide... What was the question again? Firefly. Oh.
Photon
for
Unity.
Yeah, I've only used that briefly. Actually, you've got some experience with Photon.
What is
right?
it?
It's the
Photon
networking
Unity
platform.
Network. Yeah.
Have any comments on it?
Was there a question related to it?
Just, are you familiar with it?
I only used it a little bit. I didn't use Unity's built-in networking, so I can't compare it to that. You've used both of them to some extent.
Yeah. Huh.
Are they not giving on Collide? One of them went away.
Got some missing reference exceptions. So what happened here? Oh, yeah. So if it has a target still. Oh, yeah. These things... Okay, so we shouldn't do this as a give on collide scenario. Because we want the lasers to not kill other things in their path. So I'm going to change the way that this works.
Sounds like a good plan.
So what we're going to do is... I'm going to get rid of give on collide on all of these. And we're going to... I'm going to actually do it as part of the seeker laser. It'll send a message to the object when it hits it, and then the object will have to do with something. So let's go to the seek laser script, seeking missile here. And what we're going to do is void on trigger enter collider call. So what we're going to do is if col dot game dot transform equals target, no, target, thank you, then we will send message gib. Actually, we'll do target.send message. Target.send message gib. And so now we're going to create a new script called gib on message. And I'm actually going to find gib on collide real quick. We're just going to copy a lot of this logic here into, where's my new thingy? Got rid of it. Gib on message. Okay, that was weird. So I'm going to paste this in. We're going to change this to say, oh, whoops, I didn't want to paste it that high. I want to paste it to there. Gib on message. We don't need to have valid tags anymore. I'm going to get rid of the destroy delay. We'll leave it. Who cares? Wait, I'm not even using that anywhere, am I? Oh, yeah, I am. Invoke gib, destroy delay. Wonder why I even had that. I think that was to solve another problem. I'm going to leave it, but I'm going to set it to default to 0. And so void gib. And actually, what's great about this is we don't care about the collision stuff anymore. And it already was called gib, so I don't even have to change anything. We're done. So, yeah. So now if
it always makes me nervous when I see a lot of code go away.
Does it?
Yeah.
I love it when I see a lot of code go away. That means you're doing stuff right. Gib on message. And so now if we, and actually when we do that, where's our lasers again? Seeking missile is what I called it. If we do that, I also want it to destroy the laser at this point. So destroy game object. Save. So in theory, the laser should hit, pierce, and destroy these things this time properly. And actually, I probably don't want to destroy the lasers because it's going to create a visual effect that we don't want, but I'm going to try it right now. Didn't work. Okay.
Blast.
Seeking missile. On trigger enter. Coal.transform equals target. Alright, so let's give this a look-see. I'm going to put a debug.log here. We're going to say trigger collision. And we have target.
We could, oh, never mind.
We could what?
We get signal.
We get signal. What'd you say? Alright. So we're going to see what happens here. Trigger collision. I already saw it really early. A lot earlier than I thought I would have seen it. Why is that? Is there one already out here? No, there's not. Alright, so...
Yeah, I saw trigger collision right at the very, like, right when they came out.
Why is that? And why did they not destroy themselves? Oh, wait, that's because they triggered... That means they collided with something else. But they didn't collide with... Okay, let's actually print out what they're colliding with. Trigger collision...
They collide with the player?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
They can probably collide with a lot of things, so... trigger collision, we're going to do plus coal.gameObject.name, comma coal.gameObject. So what this will do now is it will print out the name of what is collided with, and we can click on it to find out where it is. So the main thing I want to do is I'm going to let it run, because it's going to collide early anyway, but we want to see if it actually collides with these spheres. So
they disappeared that time.
I'm going to pause it. Seek laser. So we collided with a seek laser. Did it ever collide with a sphere? It did.
It did.
Huh. That makes me unhappy. And yet somehow coal.transform did not equal target, because it didn't say we have target at any point, did it? We have target. It got one of them. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
the
let's.
message has no receiver.
Well, first of all, we only got one, so that's weird. But that's another problem too. So these things should have had a receiver. I thought we put gib on message on here. Yes, and it has a. I'm calling gib, right? And gib on message has a gib. I'll make it public just in case, but that should have worked.
Doesn't it default to private?
Yeah, but I think send message doesn't really care. We'll find out in a second here if one of them actually deletes themselves. How did they end up targeting themselves? How did I even allow that? Did lasers hit lasers? Project setting, physics. Get ready for a big one here. All right. Laser collides with... Oh, it does collide with lasers.
I'm getting a nostalgic Minesweeper feeling.
Yeah.
From that
Yeah,
chart.
look at this chart. This is what charts start to look like when you're making a big game project. This is obviously not... Most of this is not used by the 2D system, and I've been making it a point to not add layers in the 2D system so that we don't have... Because we're already almost up to 32 layers. We're going to have to do some layer mixing up at some point here. So now the lasers won't hit themselves. That's good.
Layers, so to speak. Layer mergings.
Collision with a quad.
There was a collision with the sphere, though. Why? If there's no spheres in the scene that aren't super cool.
Test if it's only colliding with the sphere, so that's what we're doing. Change layer collisions.
Is there anything on here? No, there's not a collider on there. There, aim at point. Huh. So what does gib on message do? It's supposed to destroy the game object. But we weren't getting a we have target here anywhere. So for some reason my comparison is not working with the seeking missile here. So coal.transform. Oh, let's try, just in case. I don't know why this would be the case, but let's do coal.gameObject.transform. I really don't know why that would make any difference.
Strange things have happened in the world.
I'm going to try another thing here too in a second that I also don't think should make a difference, but it'll give you something to try. Nope, nothing. Let's actually double check those lasers. I just want to make sure that if I click on a seeker laser... Oh, they're colliding. Oh, that's the problem. Found the problem. They're going into the scene because they're actually seeking where these things are. So how do I do that to fix that? I know what I'll do. Although they still said they collided with the sphere at some point. Whatever. I need to fix that anyway. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to pull out the seeker prefab. I'm going to create an empty child inside of it. And we're going to just... Actually, it'll be easier to just do it the other way. We'll just create a empty game object, put the seeker laser in it, set the offset to 0, 0, 0 to start, and then what we're going to do is I'm actually going to make it at this point. So how do I want to do this? I actually want to offset the seeker laser out to about there, so negative 0.5, and then actually I want them even further out. I want them further out so they're on top of things. And then so this should be at 0Z, There. So now the collider's in the right place, and if this thing has the seeker code, which it does not currently, it will work properly. I'm going to copy this component, remove component, paste it here. This component is new. I'm going to put the collider actually one level higher. Copy component. Paste component as new. This time we're going to zero it out in the Z. I'm going to get rid of the one that's already on the seeker laser. Remove component. And the rigid body should move up a level 2. Remove component. This one just had a default rigid body, so I just removed it. And, well, it's not default. I get rid of gravity. And, yeah, trail render. That's all we want in there. So I'm going to call this seeker laser model. It's a little bit of a stretch, but technically it's a model.
Yeah.
And a seeker laser. And then we're going to put this in here. And I'm going to delete the old seek laser. Rename this to seeker laser because evidently I was inconsistent on that, but it made it easier here because I can just hit delete. Delete this and then go back to our queue here and hook in the seeker laser.
The new seeker laser.
The new seeker laser. So now it should at least have the right depth. What happened?
Is there a script that's not on the seeker laser or something? Needs to be.
Target Manager 2D. Why did it not shoot anything?
Should there be a reticle timer?
No, I'm not using that right now.
Okay.
That's odd.
It's a little odd.
See, this is the type of exciting stuff that happens in real projects as well. So what happened here? I'm going to save. I'm going to quit. I'm going to open up Unity again. Occasionally, this has a factor on things, but a lot of times it doesn't. I do hate that it does have a factor, though, because it means that there's some wonkiness that can happen. So I honestly hope that it's still broken when we come back, because then we don't have to pretend that it's wonkiness on Unity's part.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
This project takes a while to open and raises my computer's temperature while it's doing it.
Does it really?
Mm-hmm. 103 degrees, woo!
Wow.
And that's boiling, actually. That's Celsius.
Not Fahrenheit.
Not Fahrenheit. What component is actually at that high? CPU core, sweet.
It's a very hot CPU core.
Yes, it is. Alright, so let's hit play and hope that nothing works still. Alright, nothing works still.
It's a good thing.
Or maybe it worked and you couldn't see it. That's what happened. So
they're all on the player, though.
Why are they all on the player? Their target is the sphere. Oh. I did something dumb. I turned them kinematic for some reason. They're not supposed to be. These ones are actually real physics objects. Because we're doing that physics thing, so that was the problem.
Oh, really?
There we go. Fixed.
Yeah, it worked.
It all worked!
Just like that.
Wow.
Kinematic checkbox is all it
okay,
takes.
so what fixed it was using GameObject.transform. So the collider has a different transform than the game. I'm gonna switch this back again just to.
That
doesn't make sense.
You were saying that the collider was, or the lasers were actually heading toward the game object, so the colliders were behind them.
Yeah, but watch here. I just switched it back to see what'll happen. Oh, okay.
It worked.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
Let's see how many debugs we're getting. how many collisions there are outside of the ones we're actually interested in.
Probably quite a few. We got the quad. We got some secret lasers that are colliding. We got. Surprised the secret lasers. Oh, I put them on the wrong layer. Let me fix that again. Prefab secret laser. So right now, layers default. We actually want this to be laser. Yeah, sure. Change the children.
Says looks like your computer needs liquid cooling.
Yeah.
That'd be awkward. And
so let's see how many we have this time. This should be a considerably shorter list. So we got the quad, we got the sphere, we got the quad, and we have target, we have target, we have target. Yay. Cool.
The quad, I'm assuming, is the reticle?
Yeah, the quad is actually, no. The quad is what we're using to determine the mouse position. We're actually raycasting into this thing.
Oh, neat.
So, actually kind of surprised that it collided. Oh, it's probably on a different portion of the... Oh, it's on the player aim at point, that's why.
Interesting.
I'm not going to change that because I think there was a reason I did that. As I said, I'm kind of juggling layers right now because I didn't want to add any to the project. I can add as many tags as I want because there's no limit on that, but layers you're limited to 32 total, so... Or 31 total. I forget which.
Oh, really?
So we have it working. Let's make it blow up a little bit. Let's make some sort of stupid little particle effect or something.
All right.
Only
That'd be
10 minutes.
good last thing to do.
Yeah. I was actually hoping to get some of the level layout done.
We got things being destroyed by
Yeah,
laser.
yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to create a particle system. And we want I don't want to use the default particle because it's too smooth. Even though it will in the game look blocky, it doesn't really look that good because it kind of transitions between things. So I want actually something that's pixel locked. So let's make some stupid art real quick, or find some. I'm gonna make some. Pixelmator. New document. 32 by 32. That's too big. I'm gonna go 16 by 16. And we're going to zoom in way down here. And I'm going to just make the background black for working right now. And then we will...
I always forget, is Pixelmator available for free?
Unfortunately, Pixelmator is a pay program. You could use GIMP. It is a cheap program, though. I think it's $30 or $40. I mean, it's still money, but like it's not like a subscription to Photoshop or like a $500 version of Photoshop. Yeah. It has most of the features. I'm not saying that it's a complete replacement, but it is a good program.
If you do want free, honestly, GIMP will work.
Yes. So I'm just going to create I don't know, some sort of little star thing or something. I'm going to make them blow up red.
Okay.
But with like a white center, so let's just kind of make a little cross pattern here. And then we'll put some red in. Is that red enough? No, it's not red enough. There we go.
Looks like a Castle Crasher.
Yeah, it does. Should I finish up the Castle Crasher now?
No.
Oops.
It does not look like a Castle Crasher anymore.
Looks like Weird Al Yankovic now.
No, more like Carrot Top.
Yeah. Abstract Pixel Arts. Our new show. Yeah, that'll work.
go one more layer on it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Little
8.
dark red
Perfect.
around the sides.
You think so?
A little bit more dark red around the sides,
right,
like
some
a
dark
third
red.
shade.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna do transparent red. Is what I'm gonna do.
Fantastic. Get
And,
that off a
dang
channel.
it! One of those. Why does painting clear not paint clear? Isn't that what's supposed to... Okay, whatever. I'm going to set it... RGB sliders doesn't even have an alpha here. How do we even do an alpha?
Why
I guess we can
doesn't
do
it have an alpha?
opacity here. That's stupid. Is there RGBA? No.
Ay.
Okay, so... I'll clean it up in a second. We'll just put the stuff in. I'm going to do opacity 50%, and we'll leave it as a. I don't want to use opacity. We'll do it as a darker color. We'll go more old school on this. $128. Wait, is it 255 or 256? Oh, let's do 127.
Oh,
so one more layer.
Yeah. Just lightly around the edges, I think. Itsiki tutorial said GIMP is pretty okay. Once you get used to it, you can do any kind of basic texture work. I'm using it right now for his game tutorial series. I agree. I used GIMP for all the textures in my game, no matter how crappy they were.
I should probably use a free program. I'm sorry that I'm using Pixelmator, but I really like the program. So, and I really
don't really have to apologize.
Not as big a fan of GIMP. Well, most everything I show on the show is free, and this is like the one thing that isn't. But I don't know. I just like the style of it.
No, yeah.
Untitled.png. We're gonna call this part
Explosion.
2D particle whatever.
Explosion.
No, I don't care about the Pixelmator file. Oh, but I do care about it.
No, it's gone.
Alright, so I'm going to cheat and use this to get rid of the alpha on the edges.
Ay.
Stop it! Oh, it's smooth.
Not anymore, it's not.
It is. You can see that they went semi-transparent on the... it's just... I don't feel like fixing that right now. I'm not going to redo that whole thing just because I was silly enough to. So I'm going to put this under 2D minigame. I'm going to create a new folder called textures, because currently we only use it in sprites, and it kind of wants it as a texture for this. We're going to switch it to point filtering. We're going to true color it. We're going to go to our
Where's the
particle system, apply these settings. We're going to need a material, so I'm going to create a new material. It's going to use particles add. What is it called? Particles additive. We're going to call this 2D particle explode. And we're going to go to a particle system, go to the renderer, and drag in 2D particle explode. That didn't come out right. So, we didn't give it a texture, so that might help. So let's put...
Oh, it doesn't need a texture.
Oh, I already had textures and materials, so I'm going to move virtual screen into here then. Delete, yes. So we're going to go back to our 2D particle explode, and we're going to drag in our 2D particle. There we go. And we're going to look at this again. Yay, it does stuff. It doesn't sort with these other things, though. Ooh. Why is that?
Why is what? What happened?
It doesn't sort with the...
Are you using shaders that have a different...
Oh. Wait, it was... Oh, it's a Z-order problem,
Yeah,
I think.
it's a Z-order issue.
We'll just put it way out in front because it's a orthographic camera. We can do it as far as we want. I'm just going to give myself some more room here. We'll just go 50 out there. Because why not? Got all this room to work with. Let's see how it looks in the game. So I'm going to hit play and just see how this particle looks. Just, we haven't really done it the right way, but yay.
Cool.
Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to make it more of an explosion. So I'm going to get rid of the automatic emission. We're going to give it a one-time explosion of 10 particles. We're going to make the shape a sphere. Actually, let's make it a hemisphere. That way we can rotate it towards the screen. And it will never go behind the stuff that we're going. It will always be in front. And we don't need it to have that much power at the start. So we're going to go start speed of like through 2. And we're going to make it have a very short lifetime, like of 1 second or something. And we're not going to loop. So if we simulate, that's okay. I'm going to make the speed a little bit shorter, and I'm going to make the duration even shorter. Simulate. And we're going to make the hemisphere kind of a point. All right, that'll work for right now. So we're going to call this Splode and put it into our prefabs. We're going to go to our spheres and add them to our gibs. So we're going to go Splode. We hit play. Oh, still got to Splode in the scene.
So got a hello from Toronto.
Cool. And we just shoot them and they explode. Did you see that?
I want to see it again. Right. I was looking at comments. That's pretty cool.
Now let's just make another group of them, test the lock-on system a little bit better. Looks good.
Neat.
I'm going to call that a wrap. I do wish we had gotten to more population, but oh well. First, we're going to go to Perforce.
Are we going to check this thing in?
We're going to check this thing in. We're going to be going to the big one, the big Perforce repository. This is the real stuff. 748 check-ins. Woo! All right. So, I didn't even show a peek of the game. I'm going to show a peek of the game.
You can.
I'm going to check this in first. Reconcile offline work.
Do you need
Reconcile. Yeah, I can't hook it in right now. I don't have anything to hook it in with. So
yeah.
I'm going to show it at a different time. That's actually a deal breaker, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't have my headset set up. So submit 2D minigame on cooking with Unity.
That's true. That's the thing that just happened.
And actually, there was one more thing. I did just the 2D settings, so I didn't have to like diff for the whole project. But I'm pretty sure I changed project settings as well because we added a tag. Oh, we did a few things. We changed the collision system. We added a tag, and cool. So submit. Why did the dynamics manager change?
Does that have anything to do with the
That might have been
sorting
earlier.
of the hierarchy?
I don't know. I don't think so. Oh yeah, we should probably check that in too. But yeah, other stuff.
That's helpful.
Yeah, I know. And yeah, let's get that one editor script in there too. Alphanumeric sort.
Alpha sword.
Justice. Alright. So, back to the face. thank you for joining us tonight. Hope you enjoyed looking at the project. As I said, I will have those scripts in a pack probably on Monday. I'm going to try and get them out there. I don't know, maybe I'll get it done earlier, but I usually don't have time. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please email me, pushypixels@pushypixels.com. You can also tweet me at Drakfire. That's DRAKFYRE. You should buy Phil's game Proton Pulse, and you should await Robot Alone. Proton Pulse. Robot Alone.
It's okay.
Got other games on the on the mind, and that's not even the one that's kickstarting next week, funny. Ironically. So yeah, Robot Alone. And wait for a special announcement next week about the Kickstarter that we're working on, that we worked on this very show. So, and
you can follow me on Twitter if you want to. It's at Magmalemur. You can also send me an email if you'd like. That's philip@protosoftworks.com, philip@protosoftworks.com. And you should donate to Cooking with Unity. You should. We really would appreciate that.
We always appreciate it. Though, honestly, save your donations for right now. Just save them for next week and throw them at the Kickstarter because we need that.
So you should not.
So don't donate. Don't donate. Just wait for the Kickstarter and throw $1 in, or throw a lot of dollars in. But like, if you only have $1 to throw in, well, if you only have $1, don't throw that $1 in. Like, you need that $1. Like, if that's all you got, don't use that $1. But if you got a spare $1 lying around, we'd be happy to have it.
We want that $1 even if it's your only $1.
Get ready to take their money.
All right. Yeah.
We want that $1 even if it's your only $1.
No, we don't.
Kickstarter.
We do not want your last $1. Please don't give us your last $1 because we're not giving it back. So, anyway, thank you for joining us, and you guys have a great night.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Sayonara.
Auf Wiedersehen. W.
W?
Yeah.
Why W?
I don't know, because Wormhole has W in it, and
oh, I see.
And actually, W is more accurate because the real name of the project has 2 V's in it, so it's W.
I like that.
Yeah. Wormhole. Project Wormhole.
Piskel app? Try the website Piskel app for creating sprites and sprite sheets.
Oh.
Piskel app.
Piskel app. I'm worried. But
yeah. Should I screen this one?
Leave it on.
I'm on the face, so app.com.
You are on the. It's still on the face.
Oh, it's safe. All right.
Oh, neato. Let's switch it on.
Your facial
switch it back to. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. There you go.
That one.
Oh, neato.
Has live previews.
Very cool.
That's cool.
That's just online. That's nice.
Yeah, thanks for that.
That's super nice. That's a really smooth zoom. Feel how smooth that zoom is. Get your fingers in there and feel. Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice zoom.
Yeah, you should give it a touch too. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Feels good.
Some good zoom.
That is good zoom.
All right.
Yes, thanks for the recommendation of that Piskel thing. What is it called again? One more time?
Piskel app.
Piskel.
I wish it was called Pixel app, but I guess Pixel app was already taken or something. So actually, let's find out what that one is. I'm back on the face, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's see what happens if we transpose our nothing. Now I have to wonder: is it available? Because if it is, I'm going to say that they made a mistake. Gandhi Whois, because I don't trust other Whois systems to not just steal a domain the moment someone searches for it. It's available. You should buy it and use it as well, because people are going to remember it as why Piskel? Like, why? Why would it not be Pixel?
Pixel, yeah, or Piskel.
Piskel?
Yeah, but Piksel? That makes more sense.
We're really, really getting too deep into this.
Yeah,
probably.
I think we are.
Like, we're probably going to make the person who made this sad or something. How about what?
What about just pixel?
No, that's taken. Any two actual real words in the universe combined together is taken. That's the reason when I got Pushy Pixels, I'm like, no way! And then I'm just like, took it. So
I think it's blank.
What was that?
Blank but taken.
Oh, yeah. When I say taken, it could be blank, or it could be like a, one of those holding sites or whatever.
Yeah, where basically GoDaddy got a hold of it, thought there was some interest, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
Anyway, I'm going to stop broadcasting now, and hopefully it won't cut anything off. So, stop.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Good night.